What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about what's going on with the overall market and what you should be watching for. I'm going to talk about CPI just briefly and break down what the charts are telling us in the pre-market, especially for Tesla, despite the news about Cathie Wood selling. I'm going to break down why it's not a big deal in my eyes and what's going on with these charts. But before I do anything like that, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner. Take none of this as financial advice. And don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Put in $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. Anyways, guys, let's talk about the charts. Let's talk about the market. What is going down? Now, so SPY is up about 0.38% at the time I'm recording this at about 6 o'clock a.m. That's about 30 minutes before open for my time. And the market is once again holding up quite nicely. The market looks more bullish than bearish. We're continuing to pump up, and we got a very, very nice CPI again. So the data came out, 4% CPI according to the data. And let me just note that I don't fully trust this data because it is calculated based off different weights, which could easily be manipulated. But here's the thing. The market likes the data, the market reacts to the data, and that's why we have to pay attention to it. So this is what the market is saying, a 4% CPI rate versus the forecast of 4.3%. Inflation rate month over month was 0.1% versus the 0.3% forecast. Core was 5.3% versus the 5.4% forecast. Basically, everything was as expected, if not lower from that end. And only core month over month was 0.4% versus the forecast of 0.3%. But besides that, almost everything, basically everything was as expected, if not lower. 4% CPI is what the market was looking for. And then as the headlines are reporting this, we have inflation rose at 4% in May, the lowest in 2 years. Once again, good news for the markets, the lowest CPI in 2 years according to the data. And the Fed is now more incentivized to pause than ever before in the last 2 years. That is, once again, great news. The market is going to be very excited. The market is likely going to respond positively. And if we get the icing on top, the cherry on top, and that Fed pauses, the market, in my opinion, is going to rip. That's what I believe is going to happen. I'm going to break down exactly why. Just going over more data. All food and items were up 4%. That is inflation, not core. Core was up about 5.3%. So you can see core is actually a little bit higher. And the reason for that, the reason why core is higher is because core is not including food and energy. And what's bringing inflation down, the overall number, would be the drop in energy we saw. Energy was down 11.7% according to the data. And that's why the market got such a positive reaction to this, because CPI overall is still down because energy was dropping it down quite nicely. But core itself is still very close to expectations. And that's why the market is once again in the green. The market is liking this. Food was up 6.7%, so a little bit high for food. In my opinion, still consider this good news if these numbers do have truth behind them. If inflation is cooling down, that does not mean prices are going down. It simply just means that the rate at which prices are going up is slowing down. So instead of prices going up 10%, like year over year, they're now up only about 4%. So it's slowing down. It's not as crazy as before. And there are many signals that that is true, but inflation is still high nonetheless. Prices are still high nonetheless. But I really want this to cool down, not because I only care about the markets. It's also for the everyday people out there, everyday citizens who are struggling, people who are struggling to pay the bills. It's really killing their spending power, and this has to be done. It is what it is, right? Now, looking at the data right here, all items up 0.1%, 4% overall for the unadjusted 12-month end. Food is up 0.2% month over month. Energy is up 0.5%. Energy commodities are down about about 3.6% overall. A lot of this data, once again, is showing some improvements. Almost everything is the same previously compared to the previous month, but most of this is pretty decent. I actually like this. All items less food and energy, once again, another big difference. Uh, Now the news is saying that S&P 500 could pop after Tuesday's consumer price index, according to JP Morgan. Now, we had something new that went down. Basically, Cathie Wood did sell part of her Tesla position, but that was before all of these CPI reports came out. So she sold out of Tesla and Nvidia and bought more into Meta. She sold about, let's just see right here, 324,000 shares of Tesla is how many Cathie Wood from ARK ended up selling. That's about $80 million worth. But she only did this because of the increase in volatility due to the market. It's not really a bad thing. It's just repositioning. They do this all the time. And on top of this, some analysts have cut their Tesla targets, but they're still saying to buy into Tesla. Once again, completely fine. That doesn't really matter too much at this point. Looking at SPY now at the time of recording this, we're up about 0.38%. We're going to be fighting some major resistance. First off, in this 435 zone, then we have 436.25, 436.64. 438 comes after that, then potentially 440. We're getting closer to that 440 mark, and the market's holding up. Now we're up about 0.47%. Market is still looking very bullish, very, very strong. Support's going to be at 435, 434, 433 point, what is this? 433.8. And then after that, we have 433.1. Then we have 432, 431.22, and then 430 as the support zones. This trend looks bullish. The daily chart looks bullish. The candle for the last hour has been very bullish. We're now at 436. We're pumping. Market looks excited, and I can't wait to see how this thing opens because we're looking quite nice. Now, if we are getting a Fed pause, that's going to be even more bullish for the markets. The market's going to rip much higher. For Tesla, we have some great news. Tesla is above the major resistance at 250. As long as it holds above 250, this thing is going to be much more in favor of the bulls. If it comes down to fill this gap, it has to break below 250, then fill the gap in like the 249. Then we have support below that. So we have 250 as support, 247.5, 245.95, followed by 244.5. Those are just some support zones. I just wanted to note them. The next major resistance is going to be close to this 254 range, 254 to 254.25. If Tesla breaks that, we're going to be watching 255, then 257. After we break that, 260 is going to be much closer to Tesla, the next major resistance. The trend looks very nice on Tesla. We gapped up above major resistance. We're holding up nicely, and we just want to see Tesla break out above many of these resistance levels. The market's looking strong. Tesla might try to make its way into the mid 250s, if not even higher than that. Looks very, very strong. But for confirmation, we just need to see Tesla hold above 250, which it's doing so far, and it's looking quite nice. NEO is up pretty big. It's up almost 4% again after the price cuts. NEO, I mean, I called this out many times, guys. I was talking about how bullish NEO was looking from the technical setup. And you could see NEO was pumping very hard. This thing was up 8% yesterday. It was up 10% before that. Now it's excuse me. Now it's up 4% in the pre-market. NEO is trying to make its way up to $9. It's getting closer, very, very close to it right now. The QQQ right here, this thing is up pretty big. It's up almost 1% in the pre-market. This thing is pumping. The resistance zone I told you guys was around 363.34. We managed to break that. Now we're getting closer to this 364 zone of resistance. Break that. We're going to be watching 366, then potentially 368, and then 370. And if it breaks 370, 372.5 followed by 375 could come. QQQ is looking strong. If it comes down, just watch support around 363.3, break below that. Then we have 362.75, 361.37, 360.3, 359, and then after 359 comes 357.5 and etc. But for now, QQQ looks strong, bullish trend. PPO favors the bulls. The market is looking strong, guys. So get ready. Now SPY is up 0.6%. It's continuing to pump. Market is excited about the low CPI. If we get that Fed pause, there's going to be much more pumping. So don't feel bad if you kind of like missed out. I held just a small position on calls, but that's about it. I didn't risk way too much. It wasn't anything too significant because I didn't want to risk too much because CPIs could be risky. But other than that, guys, the market looks strong. We're looking solid. Tesla's holding up nicely. Let's see the market pump. Let's see the market hold up. Get ready. And let's see Jerome Powell help this out. I really hope he announces a pause or something. Let's just say he announces a pause for June. If that happens, there's going to be much more upside. So don't worry. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day. Get ready for the trading. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Tesla and the market to the moon, and peace out.